Hello team, welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan MS Pearce. This is a Ukraine war breaking news update concerning both the United Nations and Macron's visit to the White House, where he's speaking presently. In fact, it's just finished, where he's spoken to Trump in the Oval Office. We'll start with this. Trump regurgitated loads of lies and talking points that was a deep problem for me. Wasn't corrected by Macron. I don't think Macron was in a position right there and then to be able to correct him. To be honest, that would have been getting it off on the wrong foot there, wouldn't it? But it's just really disappointing that he's given the whole $350 billion. We need to get that back again type thing. And so that is happening. I hope that Macron can stand up very strongly for Europe. It's interesting that Donald Trump has released this statement, which is interesting because it almost goes directly against what we've just heard from the Oval Office. So for Trump, it's all about and only about the money, says No Reports. He stressed that the US-Ukraine minerals deal about getting America's money back, calling it an economic partnership to recoup billions sent to Ukraine. He also hints at economic deals with Russia as part of the push to end the war. Okay. So Trump has said today, President Emmanuel Macron of France joined me in the Oval Office to speak to the G7 summit. The meeting was convened by Governor Justin Trudeau of Canada, current chair of the G7, to acknowledge the third anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war, which would never have started if I was president. Everyone expressed their goal of seeing the war end, and I emphasised the importance of the vital critical minerals and rare earths deal between the United States and Ukraine, which we hope will be signed very soon. This deal, which is an economic partnership, will ensure the American people recoup the tens of billions. Now, what's fascinating here in his statement, he says tens of billions, and in the Oval Office, he just said $350 billion. Now, do we see, because I presume this is after that meeting, because he said he joined me in the Oval Office. So he might have been corrected by Emmanuel Macron, because to say tens of billions, that's the first time we have heard him say once 100 billion, but every other time it's 350 billion, and we've even heard him say 500 billion as well. And that was after it, it was like 200 billion. When before that it wasn't. So, he just keeps going up and up. The fish I caught was this big, this big, this big, this big. But to now say tens of billions could mean that he has been corrected on that. I don't know. Interesting. And military equipment sent to Ukraine, while also helping Ukraine's economy grow as this brutal and savage war comes to an end. At the same time, I am in serious discussions with President Vladimir Putin of Russia concerning the ending of the war and also major economic development transactions. Who says he's transactional? Which will take place between the United States and Russia. Talks are proceeding very well. Nothing to do with Ukraine there. So an interesting statement. And indeed, I do believe that Zelensky has spoken to Trump as well at that G7 summit, I presume virtually. So that's fascinating. Right. Then we're going to go to what I think is absolutely disgraceful. And I'm just going to call the United States of America out, or at least, no, there's so many good US viewers out there that follow my channel. It's not the United States, it is the Trump administration. And I think this is disgusting. So every year there's a statement from the UN about the war in Ukraine, and the US is usually at the forefront of developing the statement. The Ukraine resolution at the UN called Russia the aggressor and demands the full withdrawal of Russian forces from Ukraine's internationally recognized borders. The United States, along with Russia and Israel, did not sign it. Every free democratic country around the globe voted in favor, apart from the United States. Elliot Higgins from Bellingcat says it all really. The age of US international leadership is dead and buried. 18 nations did not vote for the statement that Russia is the aggressor. Obviously, Russian Federation, Sudan, Nicaragua, Niger, Mali, Marshall Islands, Haiti, Hungary, Israel, Eritrea, Equatorial Guinea, North Korea, Central African Republic, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Belarus. So you've got Russia and Belarus. Then you've got North Korea. Then you've got all of the nations in the Sahel region of Africa and around there that are under the influence of Russia, all the way stretching over to Sudan. Nicaragua, Marshall Islands, and Palau, a couple of like random ones that are obviously under the influence of Russia. You got Hungary, and then Israel. That's deeply disappointing, and the United States of America. That is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So while I have some hopes that Macron and Trump, well, Macron will be able to possibly influence Trump a little bit, maybe be a positive influence. He's obviously going for the charm offensive, not the kind of butt up against the United States approach. While that may produce some goods for Ukraine, it's deeply depressing that the United States has not voted in favor of an obvious resolution at the UN. It's just incredible. Incredible how different the United States is now from a month ago. There are some claims from a couple of sources that Macron has made a statement about security guarantees, giving security guarantees to Ukraine. I've not seen the detail of that, and I couldn't see that unless I missed it. I didn't catch that in the Oval Office. So that might be something that comes out. But I just really wanted to communicate what was going on with regard to the United Nations. That's the main thing that has kind of blown my mind. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'll be on Andrew Mercado. He's got a huge panel on later to talk about the 3rd year anniversary of the war. So come and check that out on Andrew Mercado's channel. That'll be in a couple of hours' time. Anyway, in the meantime, take care. Speak soon.